Well, we'll keep it going, and if I do freeze again, just let me know, and I'll stop, and we can kind of adjust.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk mental health. And this is with Kay. We haven't had it in a minute. Um, we'll say something that's been on my mind with mental health in regards to just this past few weeks has been our conversation that we had not too long ago. And again, I'm not gonna get all into it. Um, that is your privacy and mine. Um, and I know it was a sensitive topic, but um, I do have aspects of that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And that's just like when it comes to a person's mental health, and let's even say like, person this being something that's personal. This can be personal for you or me. I'll put it that way. Um, when
Uh-oh.
it
I can't hear you again.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay. I'm gonna do this.
You want to try to leave and come back?
I was gonna say, do you want to try going on TikTok? And I could just come on as a guest and not be on, like, we can just do like the voice call or whatever if you don't want, that voice call thing that they have.
The voice call thing on TikTok?
Yeah, do you want to do that?
You say you want to try to do that?
Yeah, since this keeps glitching.
I just feel like TikTok makes it a bit more less private, and that's I kind of appreciate that aspect of it.
I can't hear
And
you
that's
again.
oh, you can't even hear me. My goodness. Can you hear me now? It's crazy. It's like doing the Verizon commercial. It may be you.
It might be. I can try.
Okay, yeah. You want to go out and come back in?
Hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Crazy thing.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Let's just see how long I guess it takes before it happens again.
We'll see. I just turned my hotspot on just in case my internet is being weird.
Okay.
So we'll
Got
see.
it. Okay. Okay. That's good. But you can hear me now.
Yeah, so far.
Okay. 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 Cool. 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 All right. I was gonna say like, given like mental health and people going to get examined to see where they stand mentally.
Hmm.
Like that being a part of our conversation, our last conversation, like just the examination of, okay, where's your mental, this and that. Um, I kind of was like, and there's been a few other people I've talked to, and they've mentioned their mental health and like how like the doctors say that they have this, they have that. Sometimes the doctors say that they don't have this, but I've heard people say, nah, but I believe I have this. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they said this, but I don't believe I believe I do have this. And I'm like, man, like I kind of shooed away someone saying that. And I actually kind of feel bad. I kind of think I need to apologize to that person. But I kind of shoot it away and I was like, no, don't say that. You don't have that. And they were like,
Mm.
no, I think I do. And I was like, man, are they actually serious? Like I actually thought about it. And so what are your perspectives in that? Like, what's your perspective in terms of when people go to the doctor and or a mental health doctor and they get examined for their mental and they get diagnosed either wrongly, as in they don't have it or they do have it. What's your perspective on that? Should the doctor have the ability to tell them what they have and don't have? Or yeah.
I mean, I guess going to school for it. Um, like we do have a lot of tools and assessments that we use in
Mhm.
helping diagnose.
Yeah.
But there are flaws in them as well. There can be flaws in them as well.
Yeah.
Um, Based on if you how honestly they answer the questions
Mm.
or not.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that.
Yeah.
Um, I would say like can a diagnosis be wrong? Yes. Just like a physical
Mm.
diagnosis can be wrong,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm. Yep.
So if you do feel that it's wrong, you can always go for a second opinion.
Mm. Would you recommend that, like just in general?
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess if you are really wanting the diagnosis, I suppose,
Mm. Yeah.
but you don't need a diagnosis to get help for something.
Yeah.
You know, especially like mental health stuff. You don't necessarily need, I mean, maybe for insurance you might need it. Um, but like, you know, um, if you're going in for depressive symptoms, but you don't get diagnosed with major depressive disorder, that's
Yeah.
okay. You can still get help with the depressive symptoms, you know?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
And there are tiers and levels and stuff on that.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're not struggling with it, but you just might not fit the categories to be diagnosed
Mm.
with a major depressive disorder.
Yeah.
Because there is like specific categories and things you have to meet, criteria you have to meet in order to get the diagnosis.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you're not still struggling with whatever you're struggling with.
So if a person does go to the doctor and they feel like they're struggling with depression, but the
Hmm.
doctor says, no, you're not. Everything seems to be fine. You're saying that that person should get a second opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I don't think like anybody would say that they're not struggling. I mean, I would hope they wouldn't say you're not struggling with depression because like they might not prescribe them something like, you know, they might not need prescriptions,
Yeah.
but like maybe they need coping skills or figuring out like that kind of.
Mm.
That's what I would like work towards.
What,
It's
what do you mean when you say coping? Like,
coping.
like coping mechanisms?
Yeah, like coping skills.
Mm.
Like what are some things that like, when you're struggling in this area, or like what, like I guess I would ask follow-up questions about it. Like it's more like
Mm.
questions on like, um, when you get into this state, like how do you describe your symptoms? Like how do you describe like when you say you're depressed, like
Yeah.
what happens? Are you able to function? Do you do stuff? Do you hang out with friends? Do you
Yeah.
get pleasure? Like that's part of the assessments that you ask, like um to figure out where they're at on the depressive scale.
Mm.
Because there's like a range.
Yeah.
That's why I said like they might not be diagnosed, like they may not get diagnosed major depressive disorder,
Yeah.
but they could have um like symptoms of it.
Mm. How confident are you in the assessments that doctors use to diagnose someone with a mental health disorder? How confident are you with that?
Um, there's a lot of studies, there's a lot of things that have gone on to like, you know, make them like uh valid. You
Mm.
um and so I mean I think that you need to there is I just took the class on assessments and tests and measurements.
Mm.
recently, and
Yeah.
so you do like there is, like I was saying before, there does have to still be a level of you can't just take the assessment itself at face value.
Yeah.
That's why you also have to have the relationship with the client and the patient, like where you're talking with them about
Mm,
answers to the assessment because um like the questions themselves can be kind of subjective.
yeah,
And so, yeah.
that's really good. So you're saying that doctors and people who do the assessments to diagnose a person, they shouldn't or they don't just off the bat, hey, my name is Tim. My name and like first time meeting each other, they jump into assessments to just kind of try to see what you have. You kind of have to get to know this person.
Yeah, I mean there are like they'll do an assessment right away. Like that's like it's an initial like kind of like an initial assessment, initial like questionnaire. You answer the questions, you know.
Hmm.
They ask you why you're here. Uh,
Hmm.
you give them those answers, but there is like you don't always get a diagnosis the first time you go.
And would you say to a degree it's probably best you don't because you know
I
that
I would
Mhm.
think so.
Yeah, because that person if that person asks questions or answer questions, isn't it more likely for the questions to be more truthful with a relationship?
Yeah,
Mm.
I think so. Like more over time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
building rapport as a mental health counselor or therapist is very important.
Yes.
What's the difference between a counselor and a therapist? Like, are they the same people?
Um, I mean, the term is definitely used interchangeably.
Yeah.
Um, I think if I remember correctly,
Hmm.
the therapist might be more of a like psychologist, the APA people,
Mm.
and a counselor, like there's different like codes of ethics.
Mm.
And a counselor is the ACA people. But we have very similar things. There's also social workers. We do similar things, but also different. So,
Gotcha.
like, it's just our credentials are different. Licenses are different. So you have to work within your field.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm hopping around here. My brain is scattered.
Mhm. That's okay.
But I'm loving this.
Okay, I'll do my best to answer. I'm still learning, so
Yeah.
I have all the answers.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, hey, I ain't trying to get you in trouble at all. You better say what you don't know and tell me you don't know. Cause they gonna play the tape. They gonna play it back. Okay. They gonna be like, remember she said this. Well, next
Well,
thing I know, you doing 40 years behind bars. I don't want that.
gosh, I hope not.
You're so subtle. Yo, she contemplating what she said now. Like, okay, quiet now.
And well, I don't want to go to jail.
About 40 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time ago.
I know. I haven't even made 40 years yet.
Right. All right. There's just more sensitive question I want to ask, but I'm trying to make sure I ask all the other questions before this one,
Mm-hmm.
because this one can get pretty deep. Um, so we talked about assessments, people saying that they have something wrong with them, they don't have something wrong. What would you say to people who tend to self-diagnose? You know, hey, I have ADHD, I'm pretty sure. I suffer with bipolar disorder, I'm pretty sure. But they haven't had that. medically determined. Do you think that, would
I
you
mean,
say that? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think you should definitely be careful of like it's easy to self-diagnose.
Yeah.
It is. I mean,
Mhm.
I've done it before.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it. I still think I might have ADHD sometime.
Mm.
But I don't know. I haven't been officially diagnosed, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
You,
But
you saying it's wrong to do? You said you're guilty of
but
it. This is the wrong thing to do?
okay. Do I think it I guess guilty could be deemed as me thinking it's wrong. I don't necessarily think it's wrong. I think we have to be careful with it.
Mhm.
Like, um, if you're functioning and you're doing fine, um, I don't think having a diagnosis or not having a diagnosis will end be let me see if I can think about it. Will like determine your life path, I guess.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
But I think if you are struggling in any way and need help,
Mm.
that you should get the help that you need. And if that turns into a diagnosis, then that diagnosis doesn't define you though. Like, I don't think that's what I really mean is like a diagnosis doesn't define who you are.
Mm.
So whether you have it or don't have it should not
Yeah.
define you.
Yeah.
But still seeking help and getting help in those areas
Hmm.
is important.
Yeah. Absolutely. What would you say to, how can I word this? What would you say to someone who maybe needs, they may have a need to go to seek help or go and get diagnosed.
Hmm.
Um, but you know what? No, no, I'm not gonna go this route. Let me go this other route. And we talked about this. For people who are, they're told that they're diagnosed with something, but they feel like they're not, and then they're giving prescriptions with those things, but they refuse to take them. Or they're like, hey, they told me to take this, I'm not gonna take it. I know that's something we talked about. What would you say for people like that? Like, should they be taking them? Should they be taking the prescription? Should they go verbatim based off what the doctor's saying? Or is it a level of like, hey, you know, use at your own, you know,
I mean, if you're talking mental health,
hmm
like you're talking mental health, we are in mental health.
hmm
Um, like prescriptions are not the first thing that they give you, especially if you're going to someone like me, a counselor, I can't even give you a prescription.
hmm
I'm not allowed to. I am not. That is only for psychologists who
hmm
have a doctorate. They've
hmm
gone to medical school and also have taken classes in therapy.
hmm
So they're the ones that can prescribe medication.
Yeah.
So first, typically that's not who you first go to.
hmm
Typically, you go to like a talk therapist or a counselor like me.
hmm
And, then we talk about options. Um, and if it is determined that it may be something that could potentially help, you go
mm
through the side effects and you talk to them about, you know, what to do. And I
mm
would say, especially if it's the first time, um, like, and you're open to it, you should um try the prescription as like do the prescription as prescribed.
Mm,
And then also um let your doctor know
hmm.
the side effects that you're feeling or how it makes you feel
Yeah.
because um that can help with dosage, that can help with the amount, that can help with
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
Um and I have used when I was really bad, I have used anti-anxiety and
Hmm.
antidepressants before
Yeah.
and have helped me. So I am an advocate for it.
Yeah.
I also am somebody who doesn't like to be dependent on it.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Hmm.
also advise that you still go and something that they will advise as well is still finding coping mechanisms and
Mm.
things and still working through therapy,
Yeah.
talk therapy and stuff like that
Mm.
help you with those things. So you're not reliant completely on because the drugs alone aren't going to help everything,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm. And I heard it can become quite addictive
Um,
if not used properly.
if not used properly, for sure. That's why you have
Hmm.
to use them properly.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. A pill that makes you feel like you're flying when you're typically down. I'm sure that can, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that didn't happen for me. It just actually gave me feelings.
mm.
Because when I was depressed, I was numb.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything.
Mm.
So it just actually made me feel, which
Yeah.
was good.
Hmm.
And it also helped me sleep because I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah. I know people that struggle very heavily with no sleep. And the thing to that is like I'm sure it already affects your sleep when you're depressed, but not sleeping only makes things worse.
Hmm.
You know, it's just not bad for your. It's not good for your health at all.
Yeah.
Hmm. So it's like double whammy. That's crazy.
Yep.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. So this is another question I want to ask. And I ask this kind of for just people that I know, and I have a coworker that told me this. They recently came to the States, and from another country, a foreign country. They came to the States, and I guess all the stuff that they went through and dealt with in the foreign country made it to where they had to, that to have therapy, and even their little kid has to have therapy.
Hmm.
Uh, but I was talking to them, and they told me they were like, "Yeah, I'm not really. I need therapy." They literally like were messaging me at work, like throughout work, when they in the middle of them having a panic attack because they were like, we just started the position. They were kind of nervous because
Hmm.
kind of getting used to things, and they had a panic attack and messaged me during that panic attack, and they were just telling me that they were shaking and stuff, and I was just like, man, and in the midst of that, I kind of asked them about therapy and like, hey, have you considered it? And they were saying that they were in it, but the money or the cost was too expensive, and
Yeah.
so they stopped going to therapy. What would be your advice for someone who can't afford it? Like, are there no other options? Are there no free options? Are there no options where a person can go and get
I
that help?
would definitely check out. I mean, there are resources.
Mm,
You know, uh, some some counselors do. I mean, it's part of our code of ethics to be able to offer free counseling, pro bono counseling for like it's not everything,
hmm.
but but to be able to offer it. So I would say check community resources for sure.
Mm,
Um, yeah, uh, check those.
okay.
And
Community resources.
yeah, state resources. Just
Okay.
look it up. It doesn't hurt to ask and to talk about the situation. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean it will, you know,
Yeah.
and all you can do is ask.
Yeah. Exactly. And you won't know unless you ask, you
And I
know?
think, like, if they are a person of faith as well, another resource, they're not like, medical professionals,
Mm,
or whatever, but, I pastors are
yeah.
counselors as well in
Yeah.
their own right. Um, they have different like credentials,
Yeah.
but um you can go that way too.
Yeah. Wow. This is actually segueing. This is segueing really good into my next question.
A word they could use you. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, hey, that's kind of what happens. I'm not gonna lie. I actually kind of get that a lot, and I don't know why, but
Well,
it's
you
just
are a life coach, Trey. That's what
I,
you
that's
that,
true. That is so true.
so I don't know why you keep downplaying it.
No, I'm not downplaying it. It's just I don't even broadcast that, and people just come to me like this, and it's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
But you're right. I guess they see it before I even see it.
hmm
So,
Yeah, listen to your own podcast. You were talking about gifts the other day. Listen, natural gifts. Just listen to your own self, Trey.
hey, don't do that, okay. I will end this call right now. Don't do that. You low down.
All right, ask your question.
All right, this is kind of heavy, and this is only because I recently saw this on a YouTube short, but with a pastor that I follow. Um, and he spoke on this. He stated how he essentially um came across a situation where there was a young man in the congregation in the church who committed suicide, and the family, he said, chopped the suicide up, like they chopped it up to the fact that he his mental health probably degraded because the church was preaching on sin, and that was a thing in which they feel like spiraled, and like just the pastor preaching from the word on sin that
hmm
kind of probably triggered it or something is what they kind of, I guess, and so they tried to sue the church, and it was a
hmm
whole like 10-year process of this.
hmm
Um, but essentially they were trying to ban them from teaching on sin. Teaching, the lawsuit was on churches, or this church particularly, teaching on sin.
Okay.
Um, but then that lawsuit ended up being rallied behind by a bunch of different pastors and priests and rabbis, even. It's essentially, standing with they think teaching on sin in the Bible should be a thing.
Yeah.
Um, what's your take on that?
Well, sin is definitely talked on in the Bible, so I would say that we can't like alter what is true,
Mm.
like
Come
so
on, coming at you hard. Come on.
no, I mean definitely the church talking about it and the pastor preaching about sin is
Heavy. Hmm.
yeah, it's heavy. It just is what it is.
Hmm.
But you know, I mean if they are preaching it correctly,
Hmm.
and talking about Jesus covering our sin
Hmm.
and the grace that is found there and the love that God has for each and every one of us who have sinned,
Hmm.
then in that case, I don't feel like there is um then they're preaching the word, and that is exactly what it is. Um,
Mm,
Now, as far as the suicide is a tragedy, uh,
mm,
the suicide is a tragedy to 100%. And that young man had a lot going on in his mind, pot- and we don't know if he reached out. We don't know the causes. And it's difficult for a family. It's difficult for friends. It's difficult for anybody who has lost someone to that to comprehend what has happened.
mm,
And so in this case, they were looking for somebody to take the blame, for
You think it
somebody.
was, yeah.
And I just think that in their grief and their sadness and this is just human nature, and this is part of like mental health in general, is like people always look for somebody to blame, somebody
Mm,
to like to take that burden from them.
yeah.
And I don't know what went on. Like I can't speak on what that church was saying. I can't speak on how they spoke into that young man's life.
Mm,
I can't speak on anything that happened with that young man.
yeah.
We don't know. I don't know what was going on with them. It's a tragedy any which way. But um but yeah, grief will have you do a lot.
Mm, yeah.
So I hope that they got help too,
Yeah.
because they needed it as well. They
But you,
need, yeah.
yeah. No,
But
I agree.
I'm not gonna like, you can't put blame on one person
Mm,
or anybody else for someone's choices, right?
mm, yeah.
Like I had a friend who ended up having to go through um a situation. It's finally been resolved, thankfully, in her favor.
Mm,
Um, her son has autism and can't speak
yeah.
nonverbal. And
Hmm.
at school, he was getting abused by one of the teachers there, and
What?
found out about it. And then that teacher ended up committing suicide. And she had posted something about, like before this happened, before he committed suicide, she had posted something about that teacher and what had happened to her son
Mm,
on Facebook. And people started coming at her after he committed suicide, saying it was her fault that he did it.
because she exposed him?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
Eh,
so
This
that's what I
was
mean.
this was like sexual abuse or just physical violence?
Um, like physical violence and emotional,
Hmm. That's horrible.
but abuse either way.
Yeah, yeah. I know a young man who is a family friend, her adopted son. That happened to him, but it was sexual. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so like and a lot of the people were saying that that guy would have never done this, and they spoke up for him and said all that after, because after this had all happened, he had committed suicide, and they were like, defending him and saying he would never do that and all this stuff. And
What? But it was already proven that he did.
it hadn't been proven yet,
Hmm.
but it is now.
It is now. Wow. Also, even after his death, it has been proven.
Hmm.
Wow.
But
It's- Yeah.
but still, like, after that happened, she was like, I'm sorry that that happened,
Yeah.
that was never my wish for that to
Yeah.
happen, but
Hmm.
I'm standing up for my son who cannot stand up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, like, that's kind of what I mean by people find people to blame.
Wow, that's so true. And that's a tough thing to say, right? We're talking about suicide here, but
Hmm.
you're saying that they were looking for someone to blame, and it's kind of like, yeah, like does one stop talking about Jesus because he offends?
No,
It's like you don't say I need that man. You don't say I need him. You're gonna make me mentally suicidal, and like then something happens and it's like you did this,
yeah.
and so yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, we all have our own decisions. Some people would argue against that when it comes to mental health. They would
But
say,
it's
yeah, what
oh
do you think about that? What do you think about that argument? Hey, I don't have
control
control. Yeah, I don't have
because I'm mentally.
because I'm into the yeah.
I'd say I don't believe that's true
Mm,
because you can get help
mm,
and there are ways to get help and like you're gonna have struggles. There's still gonna be struggles, but like you there's like somebody who's mentally ill is diagnosed with something,
yeah,
which I wouldn't even like, they call it mentally ill, but like, I don't know, there's like, there's a spectrum, and if you need help, you should get help.
yeah. Quick question. How's your head?
It still hurts.
Yeah, I can hear by the way you're talking. I'm like, are you either talking away because you're just sleepy and tired, or it's like really hurting?
I'm just trying to figure out what I can do for it.
Do you have like a Tylenol or I think ibuprofen? I think ibuprofen helps, right?
I think I have that right now. I
You
think
say
I'm
you
gonna,
don't?
no, but I'm gonna order some.
Yeah, ibuprofen. That'll probably do a headache for sure. Um, yeah, if it's getting stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the talking. I think it maybe you're talking. Like it's not your pressure. Are you never dealt with like your pressure or anything?
No, it's not pressure. I don't
Okay.
think.
Okay. Then if it is just a migraine, like kind of closing your eyes and having just a level of quietness that'll help.
Yeah.
Did you want to wrap it up here? Because we said a lot.
We did say quite a lot.
Yeah, we said a lot. Like so, and it's getting worse. If it's gotten worse, then thing that has the change of what's been happening has been you talking.
Yeah, I think I will. I think
Hmm.
we should wrap it up and I will
Yeah.
order something and then I can come back for the fitness one.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, that's going to be in a few minutes, but and I doubt it'll probably be better. Like it may be better as you stop talking, but I mean, you can sit in if you want to sit in.
I'll sit in.
Yeah, you can sit in, but I just wouldn't want you to have to talk.
Yeah, we'll see.
And Chanel's going to be in there, so
That's good.
hmm Chanel's coming. She signed up, and so if you want to, that's completely fine. Um, I was about to say something else too. I was about to say, dang it, slipped my mind. If I remember, I'll tell you. It slipped my mind. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, do you have rubbing alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have like a small face towel?
Yeah.
Okay, I would run some hot water on it, squeeze it out. Like you can leave a little water in it if you want to, but just for the most part, like make sure it's not dripping. And then like fold it in a way where you can then dap a little bit of alcohol on it and then like but not a lot, just a little bit, and then lay that part that you dabbed it on your head. And you can kind of stretch it out to where it wraps around to your temples. Lay it on there and make sure the water's kind of hot, like bearable. and lay that on there, and then you can repeat that a couple times. And the rubbing alcohol has a way of seeping into like the skin
Mhm.
and kind of like almost like acting as icy hot.
Mm.
It kind of massages the muscles and kind of like make the muscles like relax.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. That'll probably give you instant relief.
All right, I'll try that.
Yep. So try that. You could jump into the fitness if you want to, but if not, it's fine. And then with books too, I could read, and you can listen
Yeah.
if you want to do that.
I mean, we already finished my book, so we can at least read yours.
Yep. Yeah, I'll take the full time, and then that way that'll give me even more time to that'll give us more time to catch up.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
All right. Bye.